Hello there, everyone. Thank you for coming on to the Zoom webinar this evening. And this evening, we're going to be sharing with you about what I learned from Richard Branson. And it's very exciting for me to be sharing this with you because it has been 5 years in the making, because I actually met him 5 years ago when Richard Branson came to Melbourne during the 21st Century Financial Education Summit, where he shared his amazing story and business success during the summit, and he's the keynote speaker there. And I have had the privilege of being in the premium audience sitting and had the opportunity to meet Richard Branson face to face. And amongst the many nuggets that I've learned from his books and also during the Financial Education Summit, one of the most important lessons is that true wealth has to be created from the inside out. And in the case of Richard Branson, he didn't start off wanting to become an entrepreneur. He actually wanted to make a difference to the world, and that is what his passion was. And that's also one of his business success secrets. So what I've learned from Richard Branson through the Financial Education Summit 5 years ago is that in order to create wealth from the inside out, we have to do something that we love and are passionate about. And then back up with skills and good mindset, because, obviously if we do the things that we love and passionate alone, and that's not enough, we do need to have skills to do the things to excellence, and also with a great mindset as well. And one of the very important things that we need to be aware of is that we also need to follow our heart and the journey and the path that we are given. And that is what I would like to share with you through the learnings from Richard Branson. For me personally, one of my passions is to help people to transform and grow rich in life's different areas. I believe that true wealth is not just about monetary resources or being wealthy in financial terms. To me, living wealth is very important in terms of the intangible things like love, generosity, kindness, and also being rich, including spirituality, relationship, personal development, and health as well. So in the next 20 to 30 minutes or so, I'll be sharing with you some of the success secrets that I've learned from Richard Branson and other successful people, and that you'll be able to also tap into. And what I'd like to do is at the end of this webinar to offer you a 45-minute Skype consultation one-on-one, because obviously those of you that are on the webinar, all of you are different in different scenarios and situations. So in order to discuss further where you're at in terms of creating wealth from the inside out, I would like to offer you this free 45-minute Skype consultation. And if you're interested in that, you can contact me. All right, so let me just start off giving you a bit of introduction of Richard Branson. Obviously, those of you that are on the webinar, I'm sure that you all know about him. But just in a bit of a summary of his life, Richard Branson actually was born dyslexic, which means that he had reading difficulty. He actually drops out of school at 16. And then he became, one of the best English businessmen, investors, and philanthropists. He founded the Virgin Group, which controls more than 400 companies. At the age of 16, after he dropped out of school, he started his first business venture, which was a magazine called Student, because he actually didn't like the way that the school system was teaching the students, so he actually started this. It was not really a success, although it actually gave him good experience as a business owner. However, in 1970, he set up a mail order record business, and that became the beginning of his business success. In 1972, he opened a chain of record stores, which he called Virgin Records. Branson's Virgin brand grew rapidly during the 1980s as he set up Virgin Atlantic Airlines, which I'm sure all of you have heard of. And he also expanded the Virgin Records music label. So in March 2000, Branson was knighted as Buckingham Palace for services to and entrepreneurship for his work in retail, music, and transport, with interest in land, air, sea, and space travel. In fact, I actually have done a YouTube video about wanting to go to space as a space woman, and the Virgin Galactic, which was the plan that Richard was talking about when he came to the Financial Education Summit through the space travel, was of high interest to me. And also his taste for adventure and his humanitarian work makes him a prominent figure. And in 2002, he was named in the BBC's poll of the 100 greatest Britons, one of them. So he's obviously very well known, not only in the UK, but all around the world. And earlier on this year, in March, Forbes also listed Branson's estimated net worth at $5 billion. So he's a billionaire who has had a lot of success in the Virgin brand with hundreds of companies. So I'm going to be sharing with you in the next little while 8 different lessons that I've learned, not only during the Financial Education Summit, but from his books and the things that he has shared through LinkedIn and online as well. So number 1 lesson from Richard Branson is, as I've already alluded to, and that is true wealth is created from the inside out. Well, Richard Branson didn't want to start off being an entrepreneur, although he loved his entrepreneurial ventures. He wanted to make a difference. And so basically what he encourages people who want to become successful as a business owner is to do what you love and are passionate about. Then you will increase your chances of success by any endeavor. And Richard gets his passion by making a difference and ideally making a profit at the same time so that he can continue to make a difference. But make no mistake, his key desire is, first of all, make a difference. And then as he's able to make a profit through making a difference, then he can continue to make more of a difference. And I find that very inspiring, because a lot of people, when they go into business, all they think about is money or financial success. However, a lot of the billionaires or millionaires that are successful, I find that they actually want to set out to make a huge impact in the world. And so his idea is to inspire rather than coerce by asking solution-focused questions that overcome challenges. And he always takes care of his staff, clients, and team. And because of that, all of the people that he worked with, whether it's his team members, his staff, his suppliers, his clients, all will take care of his business. And this is a really great teaching, because if you're able to look after the people that you serve, then you'll certainly, get good results. And the other thing that Richard Branson taught us is make business fun. A lot of times when people go into business and they are very serious and they actually, feel like, oh, it's a chore to be working in business. But with Richard Branson, he always looked for ways to celebrate success by throwing parties and, having fun with the people that he works with. And that creates a fantastic culture within the Virgin brands and his companies. And he always rewards the people in his team as much as possible so that they have this sense of, family, which is amazing. And so when he does that, throwing parties and having fun, it's not only just a lot of fun, but it also helps your team to bond and enjoy the process. So for business owners out there, it's something to learn about, because if you're able to create fun while you're doing business, then you'll definitely, have a lot more sense of bonding and family. And number 4 lesson is to be true to yourself and never lose the common touch. With Richard Branson, one of his big goals is to make people understand that, he's not really, bigger than or superior to the people that he works with, even though he's so successful and a billionaire. That is really his gift, because his common touch makes us feel that he's one of us, and that is also his ultimate gifts. His fun nature, humility, and his ability to mix with people from all walks of life as well. And I'd say that's really, one of the great secrets to his enduring success and popularity as well. And if you ask, the people that work with him, they will always say that he's very easy to get along with, and he's so much fun, and he's able to mix with people from, all walks of life. And the number 4 lessons, apart from being true to yourself, is he really loves people and he loves life. He always says that I embrace life and throw myself into it wholeheartedly. And Richard looks at the positives of everybody as well. And if he hears people gossiping about somebody, then he would just walk away, because he finds that distasteful. And so he always encourages, his staff and the people that he works with to embrace people. And he actually walked the talk, and he always embraces people that work with him. And he says that if you treat people well, then they will come back for more, whether they are your customers, they're your business partners, or people that work for you. You treat them well, then they will come back and be loyal to you. Okay, so the 6th lesson from Richard Branson is to not take yourself too seriously. Finding the fun in business is the ethos of Virgin companies. We've already talked about him, wanting to have fun, having, parties and all that. But, he actually likes to dress up in costumes and tries all manners of stunts, and even keeping a sense of perspective. Because of that, he always creates a sense of warmth and affection, within his company. And that is really good, because a lot of times, when business owners work, they tend to be really serious and not, find the fun part of it. So it's so important for us not to take yourself too seriously. And then the 7th lesson is to have a business culture with a sense of humor and work fun, to ensure that your clients and staff members and team, have a sense of fun, warmth, affection, and belonging. And if you can treat your clients in a heartfelt, attentive way, then they will always be loyal to you. And last but not least is read, learn, and think. Lessons are always learned through personal mistakes and experiences, and also be found through the pages of a book. So if you are able to spend time reading, learning, and thinking, then you'll be able to become successful and create wealth from the inside out as well, because reading will help you to be transformed through the wisdom that is in the pages of the books. Now, Richard Branson also carries a notebook in his pocket to capture ideas and to write his goals, thoughts, and experiences on paper as well. And it's very interesting to note that, he always, has a lot of different ideas. And as soon as, he thinks of whatever idea, then he will just jot it down and, on paper, because to him, having ideas on paper is a great way for him to capture, the way for him to move forward. So these are the 8 different lessons that I've learned from Richard Branson. Obviously, there will be so many more that you can learn from him. But I think that if we are able to apply these lessons in our lives, in our businesses and work, even, in the different areas of lives, then, it's very much possible for us to create wealth from the inside out. And that wealth is what we call living wealth, meaning richness in not only financial terms. Obviously, that is very obvious in Richard Branson's case. He's a billionaire, but also in terms of personal development and different areas, including health as well. So there are 3 quotes that I particularly like from Richard Branson that I'd like to share with you here. Number 1 is, you don't learn to walk by following rules. You learn by doing and by falling over. What that means is, if you fall over, just like a little kid trying to learn to start walking, if you can, climb back up and be resilient, then you'll be able to start walking slowly. Because if you don't learn by doing, then it's very difficult for you to just learn by theories. Okay, so number 2 quote from Richard Branson is, he says, "My general attitude to life is to enjoy every minute of every day. I never do anything with a feeling of, oh gosh, I've got to do this today." So he always has a positive attitude, and he always, has this mindset that every day is to be enjoyed and is to, have fun. And as have already shared with you, fun is a very big part of the Virgin Company. So so it's very important for us to adopt the same kind of attitude to enjoy every minute of every day. And the 3rd quote that I really love particularly is, he says, "From my very first day as an entrepreneur, I felt the only mission worth pursuing in business is to make people's lives better." And I really resonate with that, because a lot of times when people go into business as an entrepreneur, they think about money as the most important. Whereas for Richard Branson, his only mission in business is to make people's lives better. And as a result, then, the financial compensation will come. And so it's not so much about thinking about the wealth in terms of monetary terms, but also, most importantly, making people's lives better, making an impact. So basically, these are the 8 lessons and the 3 quotes that I've collected to share with you, and I hope that you find it valuable. And I've recently written a book called Juggling Health and Wealth, which is basically a similar ethos to Richard Branson's Living Wealth ethos, creating wealth from the inside out. And being a health coach, I also obviously talk quite a fair bit about the different dimensions of health, starting from spiritual health, mental health, emotional health, physical health, and social health as well. So have you always wanted to be healthy and wealthy but didn't know how to have both? Are you successful but too busy to enjoy life? Like if you look at Richard Branson, he's super successful, right? But then he also enjoys life. So that's very important to have that balance. But so many people, they are successful, but then they're suffering from fatigue. They lack balance and they feel tired or even isolated and burned out. And you don't want that to happen to you. So in my book, I talk a lot about how to juggle and how to balance your health and your wealth goals. So if you subscribe to my mailing list, you can actually learn about the steps. And I've actually typed it into the chat bar here, so you can actually copy and paste it, or you can take a picture of this link, healthwealthformula.com, which is my website. And if you go into healthwealthformula.com/#health-wealth-formula, and you can actually put your email and your details there, then you'll be going into my mailing list, and I will be able to send you newsletter regularly to help you juggle health and wealth, and also learn about how to keep all your balls in the air successfully, which means that, in all of your different dimensions of health and the different pillars of wealth, tangible and intangible as well. So I send out regular newsletter, and so you're very welcome, to subscribe to my mailing list there. And also, as I mentioned in the beginning of this webinar, that I am offering free Skype consultation to anyone who is interested in discussing where you're at in terms of your health and your wealth journey, and we can have a chat. So if you want to make an appointment with me to go for the Skype consultation, you can go to my healthwealthformula.com website and click contact, and then put your details there, and we can set up a time. And for those of you who are in Melbourne, I'm actually going to launch my book, Juggling Health and Wealth, next Friday, the 18th of August, at 6 o'clock in North Melbourne, at a restaurant called Renado's, which is 50 Arrow Street. And you're welcome to join us. And right now we only have 7 seats left. So I would highly recommend that you go to my website and book yourself a ticket, because you need to actually get a ticket to get in. When we reach the maximum capacity of the seats, then we won't be able to let people in. So if you're interested in joining me for my book launch, then you can actually go into my website to healthwealthformula.com/book-launch, and you'll be able to book yourself in. So finally, I know that most of you here are already on my Facebook group, but if you're not, then you can actually go into Juggling Health and Wealth, which if you go into facebook.com/groups/health wealth formula, then you can request to join my closed groups. And in there, I share a fair bit about what Richard Branson has taught me in the different lessons about creating wealth from the inside out, but also the various dimensions of health as well. So thank you everyone tonight for being on this call. And if you've got any question, again, you can contact me through my website through the contact button. So until next time, take care. Thanks for everyone for being on tonight. Bye-bye.